two-time Grammy and three-time Academy of Country Music Award winner Leanne Rimes in the performance of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ringing, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that a flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome back once again. We're down to our final 3 weeks of the United Dirt Sim Series Season 2 of the Sportsman Limited 305s, and we are here in Sarver, Pennsylvania at the famed Lernerville Speedway. Currently going through qualifying time trials, and according to the board, looks like sitting on top right now is the crazy Australian Chris Jones, followed right behind him. Let's see, at 61 thousandths back, that's Austin Stern in the 000, and Eric Wilkie right behind him. So very, very close top 3, top 4, even top 5, all within right around a tenth of each other. So we should see some pretty good racing action here tonight. For those that are unfamiliar with the Lernerville Speedway, this is a fairly interesting configuration. The inside of the track, a lot of the time, doesn't come in and really start working unless you have a car that's geared for it. But it'll stay tacky enough tonight that as the top side goes away, even though these cars are geared kind of funny, we should see a few guys venture down there and be able to move forward. Also, the shape of the corners is fairly interesting, as turn 1 and turn 4 are a fairly sharp curve to come out of, and turn 2 and turn 3 are fairly sweeping corners. But you have the threat of no outside wall to slow you down if you get a little bit out of shape, so likely we'll see a few cars go over the top this evening. And looks like we got about 15 seconds now before we'll be going into the first heat race this evening. And looks like so far we've had 16 cars go ahead and time in. Had a couple guys that did show up that did not take a time. So not sure what's going on there. Hopefully they will make it back in time for their heat race. And that's going to bring us around to heat race number 1. And starting on the pole will be the number 10 of Coulter West. Outside of him, the 79 of Daniel Boyd. Row number 2, the 16 of Eric Wilkie and the 54 of Chris Jones. Row number 3, Johnny Collier in the 144 and the 33 of Greg Detweiler. Row number 4, the 17 of Joshua Piquel and the number 8 of Carl Deitch. And row number 5, rounding out the field, will be the 13 of Ron Meister. And it looks like drivers are ready to roll out onto the speedway now. This is one of the only tracks that we have in iRacing currently that features an outside pit area, so shouldn't see too many guys diving into the pits hoping to get a quick repair. They will likely fall a lap or more down if they have to do it without a yellow flag. Should be interesting to see the battle between Eric Wilkie and Chris Jones starting in that second row, especially with Coulter West starting on the pole. All three of those drivers are extremely talented, extremely fast drivers, so look for some pretty good action, even though we've got a fairly tacky, likely single-lane racetrack here in heat number 1. And caution lights are out on the track, and the lights are out on the pace truck, so we will be going green this time by. And pace truck is off the track. Coulter West controls the field. Time for the bullshit to stop because the green flag's ready to drop, and we are green flag racing out of turn number 4. Coulter West with the early lead. Looks like Eric Wilkie did a pretty good job following him through. Daniel Boyd kind of got caught when Coulter blinked out there, but able to power back around the outside. And looks like our starting order of 1, 2, 3, and 4 is going to hold up for the first lap. Coulter West choosing to run kind of through the middle, but now Daniel Boyd going to make a little contact, gathers it up, but he's going to fall all the way back to 4th. And Chris Jones is going to inherit the 3rd spot. Now Greg Detweiler around the outside is going to move up to that 4th and final transfer spot. Daniel Boyd really stuck on the bottom of the track right now. Got a good 4-car battle now for that 4th and final transfer spot. Detweiler still holding it down, but Deach is close behind, and little contact there between Detweiler and Chris Jones. Both drivers able to continue without any issue. And it looks like things are going to kind of sort themselves out for a moment here. Let's look back up front as Eric Wilkie has finally run down Coulter West. With 6 laps to go, Wilkie's going to work the high side. Oh, but he's off over the top of the track. That's going to slide Chris Jones up into the 2nd spot, Detweiler into 3rd, and Deach into that 4th and final transfer. So tough break there for the number 10. Or sorry, the number 13. Now Chris Jones gets a little bit of contact there, I believe, and went over the top side of the track out of turn 1. So Coulter West leads, Greg Detweiler 2nd, Carl Deach 3rd, and Daniel Boyd is back into that 4th and final transfer spot. Coulter West with a commanding lead, coming down to take the tip of the flag, 2 to go. Detweiler doing everything he can to hold on to that 2nd spot from Carl Deach, but Deach definitely has the challenge on down the backstretch. They'll be looking at the white flag this time by. Carl Deach really working on the back bumper of Detweiler's 33. Now Deach going to dive to the bottom, try to get a run out of turn 4, but Detweiler powers back around the top. And your running order for the finish of that race, Coulter West is going to pick up the win. Greg Detweiler 2nd, Carl Deach 3rd, and Daniel Boyd picking up the 4th and final transfer spot. As we do have a bit of a light field here tonight, we are expecting that everyone will make the A main grid, so not exactly correct for me to be saying the final transfer spot. But that will bring us around to heat race number 2, and starting on the pole will be the 57 of Chase Johnson, and outside of him the number 29 of Anthony Goyette. Row number 2, the 27 of Steven Vogelsong and the 000 of Austin Stern. Row number 3 will be the number 1 of Professor X, that's Blaine Brink, and outside of him the Wrecking Ball Andrew Hansen. Row number 4, the Davenport Dart Dave Ward, and outside of him Larry Snipes in the 907. And rounding out the field, driving the 76, that is Trace Olson. And looking back through the field, we have last week's winner in the 305 division, Andrew Hansen, in this heat race. Or sorry, that was 2 weeks ago, I guess. My weeks are a little messed up here as I had internet issues and was unable to broadcast last week, so at least to me it feels like it was last week. A lot of fast cars back through this heat race. And we'll be looking to go green out of turn number 4 this time by. And the iRacing.com pace truck is going to duck off on the backstretch here. And the front row has control of the pace.
Green.
Chase Johnson early on the loud pedal. That's going to catch Anthony Goyette a little bit off guard. He is able to power back around the outside and retain at least a third position. Now contact between Steven Vogelsong and Chase Johnson. Chase Johnson going to get the worst of it, but Vogelsong is falling back through the field now. He's sitting about 4th. Now 5th as Andrew Hansen now looks to the outside. So Anthony Goyette with the lead. Austin Stern running 2nd. Blaine Brink 3rd. Now look at the battle between Vogelsong and Andrew Hansen for that 4th and 5th position. Meanwhile, Trace Olson working high, working low, looking for any way to get around those two cars. Hansen really trying to make the bottom side of the speedway work. Not quite there yet. Vogelsong going to take the low line through 1 and 2 and work to the inside of Blaine Brink, but not able to make it stick. That's going to allow Hansen to get back within striking distance through 3 and 4. Hansen with a good run around the bottom, just not quite able to get up to the fence and shut the door on Vogelsong. These guys are almost running opposite ways around the track. Vogelsong prefers it up high through 3 and 4 and down low in 1 and 2. Hansen doing the opposite. Now we've got a challenge for the lead as Anthony Goyette and Austin Stern begin to do battle, and Blaine Brink has managed to stay with those three. So great racing now for the top 5 positions out here on the track. And this time by, we'll be picking up the 3 to go for Anthony Goyette. Look at that battle through turn 1 and 2 as we had nearly 3 wide. A little bit of contact now between Blaine Brink and Austin Stern. Contact again through the middle of the corner. Blaine Brink is able to snag the 2nd spot. And that's going to open the door for Steven Vogelsong around the inside. Not able to make it work out of turn 2. Austin Stern retains 3rd place. Now Anthony Goyette feeling the pressure from Brink. Having to cover the bottom of the track. White flag is out. Goyette up high through turn 3 and 4. Looks like Brink going to work the bottom side of the track. Contact with Austin Stern. Stern gets turned. Tough break for Austin Stern there at the end of that race. That's going to bring him home in the 7th spot. And that's going to bring us around to our feature warm-up. Both heat races have been completed. Go ahead and get the running order up here so we can see who's going to be the fastest car, expected at least, in our feature race. And let's go on board now with Chase Johnson as he gets ready to roll out onto turn 4 of this speedway. As you can see, while you're working your way through 1 and 2, that lack of an outside wall is always weighing on your mind a little bit as a driver. And through 3 and 4, he's going to get a little out of shape, and right over the top he went. Let's jump on board with Chris Jones now as he works the low line through 1 and 2. And going to work kind of through the middle of 3 and 4. Interesting line we may actually see a little bit here in this feature race. And Chris Jones is going to be the fastest driver on the track at this point with a 14.778. Right behind him, Carl Deitch with a 14.826. Now Johnny Collier going to jump to the top of the timesheets in the warm-up with a 14.684, so the track is getting faster now. Jones right back on top with a 14.587. Dave Ward going to get together there with, I believe that was Eric Wilkie. Wilkie gets it turned around and going to make a few more laps here during warm-ups. And while we have a few minutes here, let's take a moment and thank all of our sponsors here at the United Dirt Sim Series. Always love to give a shout out to Design Metal Art of Knoxville, Iowa. They specialize in CNC, laser engraving, and plasma cutting, as well as metal signage. If you're looking for anything for the race fan in your life, go ahead and check them out. Also, Jessup Logistics, operating out of the Indianapolis area. They specialize in logistics, warehousing, and transport. If you need anything shipped around the United States, make sure to give them a shout. Sofa King Fast Sim Sports, one of the more prolific teams here in the United Dirt Sim Series. Always glad to see those guys show up and put on a show for us. Pushing the Cushion Productions, bringing you tonight's broadcast. Speed World Hobbies, Works Graphics, and of course, Go Yet Trucking. And a couple minutes left here in warm-ups. Chris Jones still sitting in that top spot. A few guys getting a little out of shape and sliding over the top of turn 2. It's going to make it interesting for anybody that tries to run the top side of the speedway in the early part of this race. What you can't see, but you can definitely feel through a steering wheel if you have good force feedback, you get to running the top side of that track and really ripping right around the edge. You can feel everywhere somebody has actually driven off the top of the track, and some of the time you'll get pulled over as your right rear wants to follow the line of least resistance. Now Dave Ward looking pretty good out there, moved up into that second spot on the timesheets. Let's go on board with him for a few moments. Working the low side of the track, and look at him really bend that wheel over to the right. And through the middle of 1 and 2, I think we're going to have a pretty good challenge out of Dave Ward here in the feature. As you can see, looking out the front of his car, a lot of guys venturing all over the track, at least through 1 and 2. 3 and 4, it's pretty much just a top or bottom. And that's going to conclude warm-ups for the A main. So the drivers had a moment to feel out their car on this track and wear the track into their liking, as you see a few guys go off the top side of 3 and 4. And that is going to bring us around to tonight's starting grid for the A main. Starting on the pole, driving the number 10, Coulter West, and outside of him in the 29, that is Anthony Goyette. Row number 2 in the 33, Greg Detweiler, and outside of him, the number 1 of Blaine Brink. Row number 3, the number 8 of Carl Deitch, and the 27 of Stephen Vogelsong. Row number 4, the 79 of Daniel Boyd, and the deuce of Andrew Hansen. Row number 5, the 17 of Joshua Piquel, and starting 10th, the 53 of Dave Ward Jr. Row number 6, Johnny Collier in the 144 and the 57 of Chase Johnson. Row number 7, the 54 of Chris Jones and the 000 of Austin Stern. Row number 8, the 16 of Eric Wilkie and the 76 of Trace Olson. Row number 9 will be the 13 of Ron Meister and the 907 of Larry Snipes. And that will conclude our starting grid. And looks like we're going to get a no-show out of Ron Meister, who has scratched for the evening. Jump the cameras up front here for a moment. This time by, drivers receiving the signal side by side, nose to tail. We are going green out of turn number 4. And looks like Greg Detweiler unable to make the call for tonight's A main, so he is going to be a scratch for the evening. And Coulter West on the loud pedal out of turn number 4. He's going to get the jump on Anthony Goyette. Already some contact. Andrew Hansen getting the worst of it there in the middle of the pack. Looks like everybody for the most part able to gather it up. Now Carl Deach up into second. Coulter West setting sail out front. Now the challenge through the middle of the pack looks like Carl Deach is going to get a little bit crossed up. Just kind of pulls to the inside to make sure to make room for everyone. Dave Ward already up into that 5th spot. Remember, he started 10th.
Yellow flag is out.
And our first yellow flag of the evening will come out. A lot of slicing and dicing here in the early stages of this race, so you have to bear with me for one moment while we try to sort out the lineup. According to what I'm currently seeing, looks like Coulter West leading, Blaine Brink in second, Goyette third, Daniel Boyd in 4th, and Dave Ward currently scored in the 5th spot. Andrew Hansen back up to 6th after a little bit of contact on the first lap. Johnny Collier 7th, Joshua Piquel in 8th, and Eric Wilkie 9th. And rounding out your top 10 is the 000 of Austin Stern. Excuse me. Seem to have a little bit of hiccups here tonight. And looks like Carl Deach may have pulled it to the infield as he's being scored 2 laps down. Tough break for him. This time by, drivers receiving the signal, green out of turn 4. This will be their first attempt at a double wide restart. They do get 2 of them, or half race distance to get it accomplished. Steady pace through 3 and 4. Coulter West keeping him way outside. He's going to dive to the bottom, and look at Anthony Goyette follow him through to move right up into that 2nd spot. Brink going to really have to work to get back around him. Dave Ward now to the inside. He's going to be all the way up into 4th spot, challenging for 3rd already on Brink.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
And looks like the yellow flag going to come back out. We'll have to see where they're going to score those 2 drivers. They were side by side through 3 and 4. Not sure what the cause of that caution was. I see Joshua Piquel has fallen back through the field, so possibly a driver over the top of the track. Get a good look at the number 10C of Coulter West. That's a good-looking car out there leading the race. Anthony Goyette riding right behind him. And Dave Ward riding in that 3rd spot. Get a close look at that car real quick. Sporting the Mission 22 decal on the top wing. And looks like this time by, the drivers will be going green out of turn number 4. So far this race, Coulter West been pretty much untouchable in that number 1 spot up front. But with 30 laps to go, there's a lot of things that can happen.
Green, green, green.
Good even start from our front runners. Goyette definitely with a better start that time. Coulter West going to pick up the middle of the track as he powers off of turn number 2. Now look at Dave Ward work to the inside. Really making it work down on the bottom. Goyette going to have to power back around the outside and make it happen. Now Eric Wilkie challenging to the bottom. He had both front wheels in the grass that time through. We'll stay with these 4 cars as they do battle. Coulter West doing everything he can to stretch out his lead as Dave Ward's going to move into that second spot, running the bottom side of the track. Goyette really flirting with disaster there off of turn 2. He got a little crossed up, possibly dropped right rear off the track. Now we got a 3-car battle for that third spot. Dave Ward doing everything he can to hold on to second. Goyette and Brink side by side all the way around the track. Let's take a look back now. Andrew Hansen feels like throwing his hat in the mix. Eric Wilkie also charging toward the front. Coulter West continues to open up his lead. About a 1.5-second interval right now. Back to Dave Ward. Blaine Brink really throwing the car to the bottom of the track and trying to power off. May just not have the gear to make it happen. Eric Wilkie with a nice slider there through turn 1. Stuck the car right in between Brink and Goyette. That was a gutsy move. Now he's going to make contact with the grass and slide up to the top. Closes the door on Goyette. Goyette gets into the back bumper. Does gather up the car, but that killed his momentum pretty badly. Now he's going to see a charge from Trace Olson on the outside. Andrew Hansen starting to battle his way back up toward the front. Dave Ward doing what he can to narrow the gap to Coulter West out in front of him. Just kind of riding right now, waiting for the track. And Coulter West way out front now. 1.749 seconds last time by. Eric Wilkie running the high side through 3 and 4, starting to reel in Dave Ward. Hate to leave that, but we've got a battle brewing right now between Goyette, Hansen, and Trace Olson, and Brink. If he doesn't find a faster way around the track, he's going to have these guys all over the back end of his car. Looks like 19 laps to go this time by. Now Eric Wilkie within half a second of Dave Ward. Ward with a rough time through 3 and 4 that time. That's going to allow Wilkie to really pour on the coal, and now he's going to be right on the back bumper of Dave Ward. Ward continues to run the bottom of the track, drifting high out of turn 4. Looks like it worked that time as he opened up a little bit of a gap over Eric Wilkie. Now Trace Olson working the outside around Blaine Brink. Brink just trying to keep the car nice and low on the track. Now Wilkie crashes, gathers up Brink, collects multiple cars on the front stretch. That was a big mess. Looks like Hansen was in that. Brink was in that. Eric Wilkie looked to be the one that got into the fence first. I'm not sure who else was tangled in that. Looked like Chris Jones possibly. Yeah, he's lost a nose wing. Not the way you want your race to go when you're this far in. Early on, you stand a pretty good chance of recovering from it, but with only 15 laps to go and caution laps counting, that's not a lot of time to get things done. Looks like Blaine Brink may be heading out to the work area to get that car fixed. He took a pretty good shot there when Eric Wilkie crossed over the track after, I believe, sliding a right rear over the turn 4 fence, or over the turn 4 berm. So, current running order as it stands, Coulter West still leading. Dave Ward right on his back bumper. Trace Olson now up to 3rd. Anthony Goyette 4th. Chris Jones bringing home 5th right now. Andrew Hansen running 6th. Daniel Boyd 7th. Johnny Collier 8th. Chase Johnson 9th. And Joshua Piquel rounding out your top 10. And we've got 13 cars still on the lead lap. And looks like the field is bunching up, so I believe we will be going green here very shortly. Dave Ward going to try to be on the throttle early. Looks like Coulter West going to get a pretty good jump on him. Ward finally gets it going about through 1 and 2. He's going to lose half a second on Coulter West in this first lap, but wow, look at him try to make up the ground there through 3 and 4. Little crossed up on the exit, but still fast out of that corner. Now Trace Olson going to work the inside. Not able to make it happen here. Track getting very slick here at this point. Looks like Anthony Goyette now going to get back around Trace Olson. Goyette kind of working the middle of the track. Now Dave Ward really seems to have it working. Coulter West having to venture around the track, something he hasn't had to do a whole lot this race. And look at the lines these guys are running. Coulter West right through the middle, really doing some throttle work to make the car fast. Dave Ward really searching low on that track, trying to get at least the left rear down in the moisture that's left. And the wild part is it's working for both of them. Now Dave Ward with a good charge to the outside down the backstretch. Looking to the inside through 3 and 4. He's going to make a race out of this before it's over. 7 laps to go this time by. Dave Ward right on the back bumper of Coulter West. Coulter West a little crossed up out of turn 2. Dave Ward now has the nose on the outside. Ward with the charge around the outside, looks like. Not able to make it happen that time. Ward's getting such an awesome run off of turn number 2. It's only a matter of time, but the laps are ticking away. Coulter West doing everything he can to defend that position. He does not want to give it up after leading so many laps. Dave Ward with the nose to the outside down the front stretch. Got a couple cars crossed up. Gonna stake. Oh, looks like yellow flag gonna come out now. So we are getting ready to see a green-white checkered. And the way this is coming to a conclusion is pretty impressive. Coulter West looked to be untouchable until we got to this late track state. Now Dave Ward looks to be the most comfortable guy out on the track. Take a quick look through our running order here. Coulter West leading, Dave Ward second, Anthony Goyette third, Trace Olson fourth, Stephen Vogelsong fifth. As I look through that top 5, there's no one there that couldn't win. This time by, driver should be receiving the 1 to go signal. Dave Ward really going to be looking for a good restart this time. He needs to stay right on the back bumper of Coulter West if he stands a chance of picking up the win. Anthony Goyette is just looking for any line, any mistake from these front 2 so he can get up there and challenge for the win. Trace Olson running fourth is just hoping his internet connection holds on at this point. Good restart for Coulter West. Dave Ward gonna fall back just a little bit. We'll see what this green-white checkered has in store for us. Coulter West with a good lead over Dave Ward. Ward gonna work the inside out of 3 and 4. He's got the nose under Coulter West. White flag is out. Those two are side by side through 3 and 4. A little bit of contact. Ward getting the worst of it. He manages to recover. So Coulter West going to pick up the win. Dave Ward second. Anthony Goyette in third. And I believe Stephen Vogelsong picked up fourth. that was quite a mess there right at the end between second through fourth. Everybody wanted the outside line there through 3 and 4. And I got to tell you right now, this is an interview I've been looking forward to for quite a while. We'll give these guys a few minutes to gather their thoughts at the conclusion of that race. And picking up third place tonight, good run from Anthony Goyette. Anthony, what was the key out there this evening?
Dodging the blinking car in front of me for most of the race.
Yeah, they're at the end. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, it just following, man. Dave picked up some speed. He really drove by us, was showing the way, so I just kind of tried to tuck in and follow him.
Yeah, it seemed like you were kind of exploring the track a little bit, and while you were exploring, Dave was finding the way to make it work. But in the end, go ahead.
Yeah, usually the top kind of stays fast here, but it really wasn't working all that great. So I'd move back down and then go up and try to lap and then go back down a couple laps. Just like I said, moving around trying to find it.
Yeah, some of the time that's the key, especially with the way these cars are geared here. They're, I would say, reasonably close, wouldn't you?
Yeah. It was a fun race.
Well, congratulations on that third place. Anybody you'd like to thank this evening?
Yeah, I'd like to thank everybody at UDSS, always putting on a good show. Sofa King Fast Sim, Jessup Logistics, and everybody else is on board. It's good to have a good group of guys show up every week, so it's just good to be here.
Well, good to have you here, and once again, congratulations on the third place. Hopefully we'll see you here in just a little bit on the 360s.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And you know how I was saying there was an interview that I've been really looking forward to for quite a while? Well, here it is. Dave Ward. What a battle. What a charge you put on from 10th place to 2nd. And I think if it hadn't been for that last caution, you might have pulled off the win tonight. Walk me through what was the key out there to your success on this track.
Holy shit, Bob. Did that just fucking happen?
I do believe it did.
I mean, oh my gosh. I got to tell you, I had Billy Brickley. I went to his driving school for this race. We dropped down into our own little private chat there, and he walked me through that whole thing. I like to pound that bottom. I beat the hell out of that thing, and tonight the bottom was there. It was there. That's what I needed. I don't like that top line stuff. I ain't trying to go over the backside. I always end up at the yacht club, so pretty stoked, brother.
Yeah, I have to say, lap after lap, you were hooked on the bottom of the track, and you could tell it was just a matter of you were waiting for the track to come to you, and once it did, there was nothing stopping you going to the front.
Oh man, I was like so geeked, but Billy kept trying to calm me down because I was like, I gotta go for the win, and he's like, if it comes to you, take it. If it doesn't, just get what you get. Because I told him I wanted to get on the podium. That was what I wanted to do. I haven't done it in my own damn league, and tonight is the night, so we did it. Well, I had to do it here because sure as hell wasn't going to do it in the next race we got in an hour. So,
well, you never know. It might happen.
I tell you what, though, man, that was a hell of a race. How'd the rest of it look? I mean, I kept seeing Goyette coming up on me, but I was trying to not watch my mirror.
That was one of the first times that I've had a hard time picking a battle to really stick with. That was some excellent racing out there from everybody, and it actually made it quite a joy to call it.
It's pretty crazy because like last season it was really good too, and yeah, normally Lernerville can get messy real quick with no walls and people flying off, and I know at one point they were 4 wide there, and that was pretty insane. That's some great race, and I was trying to keep calm, find my center, and yeah, man, hey, I did it. I'm pretty excited. Darren, this has been something I've been trying to do for a really long time.
Yeah, let's see. You ran 2 seasons with Grind, and
Yeah.
now in your second season with UDSS, we finally got you on a podium.
Yep. And you know what? Second place, man. I was the first loser. So, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. It was a good time.
Well, congratulations. Anybody you'd like to thank this evening?
Oh, yeah, there is. I'd like to thank you first and foremost for the broadcast. Maybe you were the good luck that I needed to get up here into second place. I'd like to thank Billy Brickley, Buckshot's Driving Academy. We've upgraded now to Academy because obviously you can take the worst of the worst and he could still put him on the podium just by walking you through it. He's got it down. I'd like to thank Speed World Hobbies, Sofa King Fast Sim Sports. I would like my biggest fan, Spade. She watches me every week, and yeah, it's pretty awesome. So, Speed World Hobbies, Jessup Logistics, and Design Metal Art.
All right. Well, congratulations on the second place. Now you need to go out there and win the next one.
Darren, hell yes, sir. I am going to have to go man, I don't know. I'm going to have to find something to calm me down because I got the shakes. But we did it. We did it. And we're going to try and do it again in the 360s. It's probably not going to happen, but we're going to give her hell.
Well, good luck out there.
All right, Darren. Thanks, buddy.
And picking up tonight's win at the Lernerville Speedway, Coulter West. Man, you looked untouchable out there until the closing laps. Walk me through what you were doing to make that car as quick as it was.
I don't even know. Everything just really good tonight. I try to stay away from the top because you like to fly off the top of the track, so I try to stay away from there. I just found the middle of the track was working best for me and just ran with it. So
yeah, it seemed like a couple times people tried to challenge, and there just wasn't another lane out there that was as fast as what you were running.
yeah, Dave Ward came out of nowhere, and then I got kind of scared and messed up my lines a little bit, but need to not do that. I probably would have had a bigger lead on him, but yeah, it was a fun race. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it looked like a couple times you two were getting ready to dice it up, and then caution flag would come out, or there'd be a little bit of contact or a little mistake from Dave, and you'd just capitalize on it. So, quite a race you ran. I believe you led every single lap, correct?
Yep, I did, and that's why I got scared because leading all those laps, and you see Dave right on the tail, so didn't want to give that up.
Yeah, that was pretty wild seeing him up there challenging you. You're quite a talented driver, so.
Thank you.
Anybody you would like to thank this evening?
I'd like to thank you guys for putting this race on, and I'd also like to thank my team, LGR, Trace Olson, and Blaine Brink. They didn't do so hot tonight, but they usually do. I don't know what happened. Maybe a wreck. I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, congratulations on the win. Have we had you up here in Victory Circle before?
Yeah, I've gotten third twice and second. It's about time I got first. So
it was due then. So
yep.
Congratulations on your first win with UDSS.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Will we see you here in a few minutes on the 360s?
Yep.
All right. Well, good luck over there.
Thank you.
Well, that's going to conclude things here at Lernerville Speedway for the 305s. We'll be back here in right around 40 minutes or so with the 360s. They'll have time to rework the track, get everything watered down again, and get everything set for hopefully a pretty good field of 360s. This is our fixed series that's coming up, so all the cars are equal, and it's just the driving that gets you to the front. And as always, from all of us here at Pushing the Cushion Productions and United Dirt Sim Series, thanks for joining us for the 305 Limited Division, and hopefully we'll see you back here in about half an hour, 40 minutes. Thank you for sitting through my Shatner-esque pauses also. Good evening.